Deepak Chopra. You're watching One World with Deepak Chopra, and we are coming to you right now from New York City, Deepak home base. And my very special guest today is Shiva Ayyadurai, and he's a systems biologist. He's an Indian-American scientist, inventor, and entrepreneur. So I'll start right from the beginning. Shiva, you grew up in New Jersey.
That's right.
And your parents were from?
From India. Both of them were from South India, but then they moved to Bombay in the 70s. So we came here in 1977. I'm sorry, 1970.
I see.
And we settled in New Jersey.
And what did your parents do?
So it's interesting. My mom was a systems analyst, and my dad was a chemical engineer. So it's interesting, 30 years later, I become a systems biologist.
And your grandmother was a healer.
Yeah, so I grew up in this world where, as a young child, my grandmother was in a small village, and she was a siddhar, and she could look at people's faces and understand what was going on inside their body. It's an ancient science called Samudrika Lakshanam, but it's based in the Siddha and Ayurvedic tradition, and based on that analysis, she would give personalized medicine. So some people got herbs, some people got combinations, so it was fascinating to see her use this approach to cure people.
By looking at the face, she made a systemic diagnosis.
A pattern, what we today call pattern analysis.
Correct.
And it's clear as above, so below. So she was using this macro level understanding of the face to understand different dysfunctions in the body.
You grew up in New Jersey, and you were 14 years old when you invented email.
Yeah, so I've always had an interest in systems.
Did you know Shiva is the inventor of email? We wouldn't have what we have today had it not been for this 14-year-old kid who. How did this happen?
Well, it's an interesting story because when the story of this 14-year-old Indian immigrant kid growing up, working in Newark, New Jersey, inventing email is a very interesting story as I look back on it, because it's really the story of, in many ways, what can take place anywhere in the world, be it in any inner city or in any village. And I just happened to be fortunate where three conditions came together. I had parents and teachers who were very interested in seeing the potential of this kid come up. You had a mentor who was this very interesting individual at Rutgers Medical School who gave me this opportunity to convert what we call the inner office mail system. Anyone over the age of 40 will remember that the offices of the world, from the president all the way down to any CEO, ran by this thing called the inter-office mail system. And that system involved the inbox, the outbox. There was typically a secretary in every office. She had a typewriter. She would type what was called the memo, to, from, subject, CC. There was return, receipt, registered mail, etc. So this mentor said, Shiva, would you like to convert this inter-office mail system into the electronic format? Now, for me, the year prior to that, I was one of these accelerated students. I'd been given the opportunity to study math and science, so I had gone to NYU at the age of 13, 14, and I had learned all these computer programming languages. So I ended up as this little 14-year-old kid, and what's fascinating was this 14-year-old kid was not treated as a 14-year-old kid. He was given the respect and collegiality of all the other scientists who were 2, 3, 4 decades older than me. So in that environment is where this innovation takes place. This 14-year-old kid writes 50,000 lines of code and creates the electronic version of the inter-office mail system across 3 university campuses, and I called it email, a term which had never been used before. Today we may think it's normal, but the term was because of Fortran language, which was a computer language that I wrote this in, only allowed 5 characters.